Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can subscribe. There's a menu of options, so click the join button, and you can see, the different shows that you can subscribe to and choose whatever you care to choose. But we appreciate any kind of patronage you can give us, so Shane can keep eating macaroni and cheese out of the box. He's learning how to sprinkle the cheese powder on his tongue before he chews on the hard macaroni. So he needs to buy another case of that. If you are watching as a Patreon patron, thank you. And the easiest thing to do if you don't have any money is link your Twitch Prime account, your Amazon Prime account. So 3 ways to get us money. Patreon costs money. Joining and subscribing via YouTube costs money, but we appreciate it. Twitch Prime doesn't. Today's question from SIFTD from Mihai Suciu 1990. That sounds like a Romanian name. Pachter, I'm Romanian as well, with a Dutch name. What do you think the next Microsoft first-party acquisition will be? Rumors suggest Sega, but my money is on Square Enix since it has compelling IP for both Western and Japanese audiences. I don't think they buy either. First of all, I think Microsoft is foolish to try to compete in Japan. They've never done well there. Sony is a Japanese brand. The Japanese consumers have known the Sony brand since the early 90s, and they embrace it and they love it. And Japanese publishers have embraced the Sony brand consistently for the last 25 years. So, I think Microsoft could try to gain some traction there, but I'd say neither. I just don't see it. And also, I don't think that there's that many compelling Sega titles in Sonic, but really not that much. Square Enix better, because they own IDOS and they have Final Fantasy, but, again, not enough that Microsoft could really afford to pay up and then cut out the PlayStation audience. All that's going to do is alienate the Japanese consumer further, because they really probably don't want to buy an Xbox. So I'd say no Japanese purchase. And, who they buy next? I think they were in the mix for Warner Brothers assets. And the problem with Warner Brothers Interactive, which is supposedly now not for sale, is that, if the content was licensed, then the parent company, Warner Brothers, AT&T, wanted it to remain available on multiple consoles because that helps merchandising. But if they were to sell the IP rights for games to the purchaser, Microsoft could certainly afford to pay for that. Then that gives Microsoft a pretty compelling asset to buy, to make exclusive DC games, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman kind of games, and own big franchises like Mortal Kombat and Injustice. And I think that's the next one. That's the next asset somebody buys. I don't see Microsoft buying another multi-platform publisher. I think that's too hard. I really do. And I think these Square Enix and Sega way too difficult. So I don't see it happening. Today's question from SIFTD from Kevin. What are your thoughts on Xbox One X having a 700% increase in sales on Amazon same day the pre-orders for Xbox Series X went live? Does it show that the way Xbox is naming its consoles isn't working? That's actually the takeaway. I mean, the name is stupid. The percentage sales is really interesting because last month, August, Xbox software sales, or hardware sales, were super low. And I can't give you the NPD number because they'll shoot me, but they were literally, double-digit thousands, not hundreds of thousands. And that tells me that the reports we've gotten out of Asia that Microsoft isn't making them anymore they're true. So when the pre-orders went on sale in Amazon, I'm guessing Amazon only sold 500 Xbox One X in August, and so they sold 3,500 in September. Who cares? It was probably a tiny number. So the up 700% is probably comparing sales on a really tiny base, and it doesn't matter. I think that's what happened. But yes, as far as your question, sure. I think that Microsoft seems to, Bill Gates came up with Xbox, I think. I'm not sure, Seamus Blackley or Kevin Backus or Bill Gates came up with that name. And if you remember, they put a big X on top of the box in green, and they had the X in green, and they seem to love the letter X. So Xbox One was a dumb name. I mean, Xbox Original was a good name. Xbox 360 was a dumb name. Xbox One was a dumber name. Xbox Series X is even a dumber name. What's wrong with Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 3, Xbox 4? You don't get confused. So I agree with you. Everything they do is confusing. And to be honest, I mean, if you remember the games from EA, Battlefield 4 followed by Battlefield 1 followed by Battlefield 5. GTA 3 followed by GTA Vice City followed by GTA San Andreas followed by GTA 4. What? I don't even get any of these guys. I get that, that you're not going to do Madden 11, 12, 13, 14 unless it's the year. But I don't get it. Like even Windows, it's like and iPhones, an iPhone X, or was it 10? Oh, I guess it was 10 because it came right after the 8. I don't understand these guys. So the answer is that stay in school and get a job in marketing and advertising and change it, because the idiots who do it now think they always have a better idea how to name these things. And you're absolutely right. It confuses the hell out of consumers. And I say Xbox One X and Xbox Series X interchangeably all the time. And I know the difference because it confuses me and I know the difference. So the answer is really a dumb naming convention. They should have been Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 3, Xbox 4, but they didn't. So what are you going to do? And the funny thing is, I remember the PlayStation came out, and then when it went from 300 to 200 to 150, they actually came out with a box that was the $150 box, and they called it the PS1, the PSONE. And so they actually named it One. I don't know why they did that. It was just the third iteration of the same PlayStation. But then PS2 came out, and that was PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. People aren't confused. You know what a 5 is newer than 4. You get that. You watch Fast and Furious 9. Hey, guess what? That's the one that comes after 8. And you watch Mission Impossible 7. That's the one that came after 6. I don't know why Microsoft can't figure that out. So get a great degree in advertising and marketing. Go to work at Microsoft and convince them that they don't know what the hell they're doing and they're confusing consumers. You guys are watching on Patreon. Thank you. If you are subscribing via YouTube, thank you. If you have linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, thank you. And if you follow me on Twitter, thank you. We'll see you next time.